everyone, and welcome back to the Mike Vogiatzakis Show on this Wednesday night, 9 o'clock as always. Thanks for joining us. Couldn't do it without you guys. Drop your city in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're calling from, and don't forget to talk to each other and make new friends. But again, please be nice to each other as well. We need you to like, share, and follow us. You can find us at the Mike Vogiatzakis Show. We're on YouTube. We're also on Rumble. And you can also find us on Facebook, obviously, under Mike Vogiatzakis Show or just Mike Vogiatzakis on Facebook and Mike Vogiatzakis Show on Rumble and YouTube. So there you go. That's kind of a rundown as to what's going to happen. There's still a lot to come tonight. Let's take a look. Mike says we're going to talk about some things tonight that have dominated Winnipeg headlines over the past 2 weeks. You know, violent crime, repeat offenders. There's been school threats, bomb threats to be exact. Am I allowed to say bomb? I don't think so. Well, maybe I'm just not allowed to say it on the phone anymore. And serious charges across the city. So there's been some real serious stuff. We're going to touch base on all of that. It's really concerning because not only is it affecting, teachers, staff at the schools, but also the kids. And when we start to affect the kids, that's when I start to step in and get more serious, and so does Mike for that matter. Lots to come. We're going to say hi to a very special guest on the show coming up tonight, too, that you don't know about. We'll tell you about that right after this.
At Santa Lucia Pizza, you know it's all about the sauce. Did you also know, whether dine-in, takeout, or delivery, our menu is sure to please with a variety of options for the whole family. With quality ingredients for pizza, pasta, Greek, and so much more. Cut cooking out of your dinner plans and let Santa Lucia Pizza do all the work. With large portions, superior taste, great service, remarkable quality, and exceptional value, plus fantastic menu options, and our specialty, of course, pizza. Fresh and piping hot to your door. Pizza, pasta, Greek food, Santa Lucia. It's all about the sauce. Order online at santaluciapizza.com.
All right, Mike. Well, time to say hello to some of our viewers and our special little guest tonight, Nick.
Hello.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good.
Good to have you on the program, buddy.
So who are you, Nick?
Nephew?
Who am I to you? Am I your uncle?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. We brought Nick on the show, special little guy, who's going to be sharing some things about Winnipeg with us in school and just how a little guy. How old are you, Nick?
8.
Nick's 8 years old. And get this, he's dedicated. He watches the show every single week. An 8-year-old watching the show. Hey, Nick, do you know that I'm running for mayor in the next election?
No.
You don't know?
Would you like to be mayor one day, Nick?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
would. All right. Well, that's pretty cool.
So-
Maybe that's why you're paying attention now, right?
So if I was running for mayor, would you vote for me if you could?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, there we go. Nick, we're going to say hi to some people. There's a screen right over here.
Look over there
where
on
we
that
say hi
blue
to everybody.
screen right there.
And of course, Gord is always the first one on the show. So we say hi to
See
Gord
Gord's name
all the
up there?
time. Say hi, Gord.
Hi, Gordon.
And then we have Mike Cherry. He says, good evening. Lots happening at the next Public Works meeting, March 4th. We're going to talk about some of that tonight, Mike.
Terry Thiessen is here as well from Southern Alberta. Randy Stanton's dropping in. Mike for mayor and Brad for deputy mayor. Deputy mayor.
Deputy mayor, wow.
I never heard of that
And then-
before, but yeah, I mean, it's like...
Nick, say hi to Jack.
Hi, Jack.
And he says, good evening, everyone.
who's next? Barb? Barb Judge.
Steve Page. Hey, Steve, where you been? Haven't seen you on the show like forever. Terry Good, not so good, but good guy. Hello.
Debbie Lamoureux's with us tonight. Hello, guys. Happy Hump Day from West K. Suzanne Morin's here, as well as Amanda. Who's Amanda? Amanda Vogiatzakis.
Hey, that's your mom.
Is that your mom?
Wow.
No kidding.
Yes.
So what's your last name?
Vogiatzakis.
Oh, you're a Vogiatzakis too.
It is?
Well, we got two.
Oh,
I'm confused.
then I realized we got my dad in there.
Sandra Dupuis, thank you for saying that about me. I
Look,
appreciate
Nick,
that.
People
That's-
are already saying hi to you on the screen there. Look. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Yeah, little Sandra Dupuis says you're a little cutie.
Are you a cutie?
Yes.
And Diana says, hi, Nick. And Gabriel, hello. Patricia, Luke, Hi, Al Bueller. Where's Al Bueller? Have you seen Al Bueller?
I
Where's
haven't
that
seen
guy?
Al Bueller. Dan DeRoge is here.
And my friend Paul Rodriguez. Paul and I grew up together, and good guy, Portuguese, Greek, Italian, all grew up in that same neighborhood in the West End.
George with the Jeep, watching from Oakbank. Support Mike all the way, of course. Hopefully you do. And,
Thank you, George.
make sure you got that big V happening for victory on the old ballot when it's there. 'Cause that's what's gonna set
Teresa
it
says,
apart.
hi, Nick, Mike, and Brad. Wow, you're part of the conversation now. Also, Jeffrey, hello, everyone. And Shannon, hey, Mike.
Shannon's here. Randy's here. Oh, Randy already said hello. but I
Viola
support
Love.
Mike.
Viola's back from Mexico. She left Mexico just before the cartel thing happened out there.
I've seen all of her pictures that she was posting. She's been all around the world in the last couple of years. It's been incredible her journey and the photos that she's taken.
Bunny Lee's also on the show. And Chris CH, so cute.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off the show with Nick, really, and we're going to get into a really good show. But because Nick watches the show every week, we wanted to get him on and maybe ask him some questions and talk about some of the things that you want to talk about. Now, Nick, how do you want to start off the show?
I don't know.
Something they took away in schools.
What did
you
they
said.
take away from school that you want to?
Hmm.
Was it the Lord's Prayer, maybe?
Yes.
So Nick is upset because they took the Lord's Prayer out of school, and he's a little guy, and he knows, and this is what's affecting him. So he said, Uncle Mike, you need to start off your show doing the Lord's Prayer. So we're gonna let little Nick. Bow your heads. Just listen to little Nick. He's going to say the Lord's Prayer, and then we're going to ask him some questions. Go ahead, Nick.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Amen.
Wow. What a great way to start off the show.
Great job. I'm just gonna do this one more time here. That way up there because I think we're a little low on the microphone level, aren't we?
Does Nick have hockey cards? Yeah, Nick has hockey.
Yes.
Nick plays hockey, don't you?
Yes.
What team do you play for?
Black Knights.
The Black Knights. And what position do you play?
Defense.
Awesome. So, Nick, let me ask you something. What would you change in the city of Winnipeg? How old are you?
8.
So, as an 8-year-old, what would you change in the city of Winnipeg?
For downtown to look nicer and to not make kids scared.
So, you'd want downtown to be safer?
Yeah.
And what else would you want to see happen downtown?
For it to be cleaner.
Cleaner. And how about something else you told me about drugs?
Oh yeah, I don't want people to go on drugs.
And then we talked earlier about something else. What else do you want to see that really bothers you when you're driving around with your mom and dad? And a little too much Pepsi.
Yes. Going.
Those people that you see on the street.
Yeah.
What are they?
Homeless. I want to give people to homeless, which me and my mom are gonna do in the morning.
So you want to feed the homeless?
Yes.
So-
give them water and food.
So what do you think when you see people that are homeless? Does it bother you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to see those people have a good house and
Yeah.
you want them to have some food and water,
Yes.
and you and your mom go out and do that?
Yes. In the summer we will.
You will. And are you afraid a little bit, or you're not afraid at all?
No.
No. And anyways, what else would you want to see? You talked about the streets. What do you see on our streets right now?
Homeless people.
And you said the streets are dirty because there's
Dirty.
lots of.
People throwing garbage on the ground.
And what do you think of those people that throw garbage on the ground?
Mean.
Shouldn't happen, right? What
Yeah.
does it do to our city when there's garbage on the ground?
Wasting our land.
It makes it dirty, right?
Yes.
And we want a clean future for you, so when you
Yes.
grow up, you have a good future, right?
Yes.
So, what would you change in the schools, Nick? You were talking about schools. What happens in schools that you don't like?
To put music concerts back in school,
Like, what kind of music concerts?
like Christmas.
So they don't have Christmas concerts anymore,
Yeah.
and you want to see Christmas concerts come back.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do they call the concerts in school now?
Concerts.
They just call them concerts. Wow.
Holiday festival?
No.
No.
And what else do you want to see in
Yeah.
school? What else would you like to see in school? You said you want to see the Lord's Prayer back in school, right?
Yes.
And do you think you'd like that? Because when we were young, when Brad and I were young, the Lord's Prayer was in school all the time. And how about, you said something else. What happens at school that really bothers you? It's got something to do with fists.
Bullying.
Bullying. And is there lots of bullying going on in schools?
Yes.
And you want to see bullying stop?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to see,
Do you ever get bullied?
be honest,
Once every year.
you get
Once
bullied
every year?
and you don't like being bullied, right?
No.
So Nick wants to see Christmas come back. He wants to see the Lord's Prayer back at school. He wants our streets to be cleaned up. He wants us to help the homeless, feed the homeless, and he wants Christmas concerts back. I think that's a whole bunch of things. What else do you want? You said there's nothing for kids your age to do in the city, right?
Yeah.
What would you like to see?
Funness.
What kind of funness? Like what would you want? You talk to me.
Schools have it. Well, what was I gonna say?
Water park?
Yeah, water parks. More water parks.
More outdoor activity?
Yeah.
Used to have water slides out at Lockport, and we used to go there all the time, but not anymore, right?
Uncle Mike's gonna have to teach you how to fight.
No.
No? You don't want to fight?
No.
So what do you want more in this world? We talked about what you want more in this world as a little guy.
More helpfulness.
More helpfulness, more love,
Yes.
more togetherness,
Yes.
more time with your family.
Yes.
You know, there was a pool in Winnipeg called Happy Land Pool.
All right.
And I probably would have taken you there, but our current mayor knocked it down. Not there anymore.
No, that's
Isn't
right.
that sad?
Yes.
So where do you go swimming? Is there any parks you can go swimming at? Or do you have to go to an inside place?
Inside place.
Wouldn't you like to see more parks where kids can play together and have
Yes.
fun?
Yes.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay, and the last question I want to ask you is this. What's the thing that you miss the most in this world?
Uncle Kyriakis.
Yeah, that's it's a
And
tough
Uncle
situation.
Kyriakis was a
Yeah.
good guy, right? What did you love about Uncle Kyriakis?
Seeing him.
Seeing him? And you miss seeing him?
Yeah.
That's got to be tough for a little guy. Uncle Kyriakis is up in heaven right now,
Yeah.
and he's thinking about us every day, and one day
Yeah.
we'll be with him too.
Yeah.
You loved Uncle Kyriakis, eh? Attaboy. Well, Nick, thank you for coming on the show, and everybody else, thanks for coming on the show. So if you want, you can stay here, or you can kind of work your way over there, and then when you hear a dog barking, that means somebody's here to pick you up. Do you want to say anything else to the people while you get a chance?
Bye.
Bye.
You get to go home and watch this on the air right away.
Oh, there you go.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're going to come back with more of Brad and Mike on the Mike Vogiatzakis show. Little Nick is on his way home to bed finally because it's late now, and
Yes.
I can't believe I just gave you a whole bunch of cream soda to drink before bedtime. But
Okay.
you go make sure you go home and brush your teeth. All right, little buddy?
Somebody's
all right.
going to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you go.
Probably me.
See you, Nick.
All right,
Bye.
you guys
Give me a high five.
have a good night.
All right.
All right, we're going to break for a quick commercial. We'll be back with more from the Mike Vogiatzakis show right after this.
Everlasting Memorials are Manitoba's memorial specialists. Are you looking for a memorial for your loved one or yourself? The team of expert memorial design consultants at Everlasting Memorials provides a variety of high-quality granite, marble, and bronze products in many styles, sizes, and colors. Additionally, we also produce cremation urns, pet memorials, statues, vases, and other grave accessories for you to choose from. Our in-house stonemason, graphic artist, sandblasting booth, and laser etching machine can make your design fully customized so it suits the memory. Established in 1986, we're a family business with a commitment to provide compassionate memorial products for the departed. Some of our work can be seen in small towns and big city cemeteries, parks and trails, as well as heritage sites all throughout Canada. We can help you choose a memorial that best represents the essence of a person's life. Everlasting Memorials, for the comfort of peace and remembrance. Visit us online to book your free consultation at everlastingmemorials.ca.
Well, you gotta know that little guy Nick is pretty cute, and I gotta say that he must be a Vogiatzakis because he likes to talk.
You know what? I got to tell you something, Brad. I know it's the same for you, but everything I do, including wanting to run for mayor in the future, is for little ones like Nick, so they can have a future, so they can have freedom of choice and freedom of speech and be able to enjoy the outdoors and have family and fun and stick with our religious beliefs or our faith that we believe in, that nobody should ever take away from us. And that's just the way it is. And that's what makes me work so hard to be a better person and to try and have a better future for our children, your children, and your grandchildren.
We were talking about this earlier. It's nothing of what you do is political.
No, you know what? I'm not politically connected. I don't really care about politics. What I care about is change for your families, for my family, and for the future generation. That's what it's all about. This politically connected stuff is for.
I like to say Mike likes to spend the money properly and do it right and make sure that it gets done on time, on budget, so that things are well managed, not unmanaged. Mismanagement is the worst part of running any city operation or any operation for that matter. And you're a businessman, so you understand that aspect,
Brad,
right?
It's no different than running a business. You run your business with the funds that you have available, and you try not to go into overdraft, and you run the business efficiently, and you run it well, and you do it for the right reason. For me, it's for the families that we serve. Everything from the sidewalk to the inside of the funeral home to the services we provide, it's not for us. It's for the family, the grieving family that comes in, so we can do everything right for them. And it's no different in being a mayor of a city. You want to make sure that you're spending people's money right, that you're accountable for what you're doing, that you care about your citizens, that you listen to your citizens, and you make sure that you make change that matters to them. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about tonight. And first, we're going to talk about what's happening in schools. But we're going to work our way down, because I think the city's on a complete route to disaster with this current mayor and council. And I'm not saying that to be insulting.
Right.
But some of the things that are happening are definitely going in the wrong direction, and that money's coming out of your pockets. In the meantime, Winnipeg is falling apart. Yesterday I saw this, and I got a picture of it on my phone. I was going to post it on Facebook today. So I watched a bunch of front-end loaders, and we're going to talk about snow removal one day. But I watched about 28 pieces of machinery coming down Selkirk Avenue yesterday, and they were doing nothing. First, I observed them sitting there for a good maybe 45 minutes.
Sure.
And I wanted to watch to see what they were going to do.
Were they moving from area to area?
No, they were just going down Selkirk Avenue. What was disturbing to me was they were taking snow off city streets and dumping it on private property. Somebody's private property, somebody who has to pay to remove that snow. And there's lots of commercial properties on Selkirk. And I have videos and pictures of them actually taking snow off the streets, dumping them on private property. And they've done that to me at the funeral home, where you come the next morning and your snow pile's full, and it's really expensive.
I know somebody's coming at you about this one, and they're going to say to you, Mike, there's an X amount of space between the edge of that street and where the property line actually begins, and that is still city property for that, say, 6 or 8 feet, even on a house property.
On this property here, they were driving onto the property and dumping snow.
So I'm glad you made that clear, because somebody's going to say that to you, right?
No, I have a video of it, and they did it to numerous properties that are empty on Selkirk, where there's big piles of snow, and the owner's probably going to go, like, what the heck? Somebody has to remove that, right? So anyways, it's accountability, and accountability is not something we're seeing in the city. As a matter of fact, they're over on the snow budget on average by millions that you're paying for. And I've been talking to a lot of people that are working, operators of machinery, and they say the same thing. They say, what a waste of money and time. On average, sometimes they're sitting there 2 hours without even doing anything while taxpayers are paying the bill. Some of these operators are saying that they have triple the amount of people they need on some routes that can be done by half the crew. So it's disturbing when you see how snow removal is done, what's happening, why it's happening. But let me tell you, in May, and from May right till October, I'm going to show you how to do it properly and how change is going to happen and how the city will become accountable and how we will have routes that are probably GPSed, where you can see live where your snow machinery is going and what area is being cleaned and how long these people are sitting.
I walk away for 1 minute and you're giving them the plan already.
No. Hey, and you know what else I want to talk about quickly? This is awesome.
Supposed to stop you from that.
2 things happened that are awesome. Yesterday, Donald Trump in the State of the Union got up and said that Americans should be first.
That's right.
And if you
Before
believe that
illegal
Americans,
immigrants.
right, and if you believe that Americans should be first, you would stand up.
And everybody stand up.
And everybody stood up except
the Democrats.
the Democrats.
All well, I don't know. There was 70 of them missing, so I'm going to say there was probably 70 of them still there.
But
maybe
how
less.
disturbing is that? I mean, he didn't say anything that's controversial. He didn't say anything that put down Americans or anyone. He simply said, if you believe Americans should come first,
Stand up for the country.
stand up for your country. And they just sat there and did nothing.
They did, and
that-
they screamed and hollered at him pretty good. I mean, AOC was giving it to him pretty bad.
But that's showing your true colors.
Absolutely, it does. It shows every bit of it. And some of those people like AOC and even the one there, oh geez, the Somalian girl out of Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah.
Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, Omar, yeah.
She's another one. I mean, what are you going to do with somebody who's that corrupt? You gotta say, see ya, deport right now. And I'm not getting political here, but that's the reality of it. When somebody doesn't, love your country and respect your country, or the citizens that run your country.
Something else I really liked.
And Mark Carney's the same way. I don't want to get too political, but that's another problem we face. Is the same thing. I mean, does he really love Canada, or is he just here to do a job? I think he's just here to do a job.
Something else I really liked is how Donald Trump took the U.S. team
Oh yeah.
into the White House and, made some jokes, laughed with them, but he brought the team there.
The buck stops here, buddy. Hellebuck got the big award last night.
I know Hellebuck got the big award, and
there's some Canadians hating him for that, and that's wrong. I mean, the guy didn't do anything wrong. He got an award for being excellence in hockey.
He's from the States. I mean,
he is an American.
We have an American playing on our team, and he does a great job for the Winnipeg
many Americans
Jets.
playing on our team everywhere. I mean, many Canadians.
Sometimes I wonder if you could do anything right.
Well, that's just
the guy goes out, he plays for his team. The Canadians were playing for their team. What's he supposed to do? Go out and play a shitty game because he's playing Team Canada? Come on.
He played better for Team USA than he does for the Jets. Oh, did I say that out loud? No,
the Jets are playing tonight, first game back, and I'm wondering if Hellebuck was in net.
Oh, he's partying in the States still. Then I don't think he's even back.
Well, what
yet.
A cool thing for a president to do.
I wonder if he got a ride on the old plane last night.
You know what I wonder?
Back here in time for
I wonder if Carney would have did the same thing for Canada.
Not a chance.
I don't think so either.
Not a chance.
I don't think so.
Mark Carney's not here for that. Mark Carney's here for a totally different reason, and it's. I like to call him the liquidator. The liquidator. So, Mike, look, this hasn't been just one story, man. This past 2 weeks has been like a wave of crime and violence and things that have happened throughout the city. And it's now affecting the kids because the kids are having to stay home like they did today over at Windsor Park Collegiate, I believe. And that being said, these threats that are coming into these schools, they're taking them seriously, and they should. Because right now is not a time to mess around after what kind of violence we've seen, not only in Canada, out in BC at the Ridge there, but also what's going on across the United States.
Brad, when you line up the last 2 weeks and the headlines, they go back 2 weeks. It's not by incident. This is happening on purpose. It's a pattern of instability. Let's walk through what Winnipeg is seeing just in the last 14 days. We're not going to talk about all that, but we're just going to talk about a little bit of the pattern. And it kind of goes like this. Let's start with the most recent. Police issued a citywide public awareness alert for multiple school threats. A high school canceled in-person classes because of the threats under investigation.
Okay, so we've heard about schools being evacuated. What's your take on that?
Over the past few weeks, Winnipeg police have responded to 11, not one, but 11 separate reported threats targeting threats across the city. These threats came from various forms, some online, some reported through calls, some shared through third parties, I guess you could say. Police have stated that so far, none of these have been proven to be credible or active attacks. But here's the key. Every threat is treated as a real proven problem. Otherwise, if they put it aside, it could cause problems, right?
Sure. So why do you think schools are closing or canceling classes if the threats aren't credible, Mike?
Because when it comes to children, there is zero room for gambling. And if it was my child in the room and there was a threat and they didn't do anything about it, I wouldn't be too happy. If a threat comes in, school divisions work with the police immediately. If they cannot quickly identify the source or rule it out, they cancel classes. And they do it for the right reason, and that's to protect the citizens. It's not a panic. It's protocol. And I'm glad safety comes first in these situations.
Standard operating procedures of what to do in a crisis situation. And
right.
There's so many of them these days that anything can happen at a school. And Security guards, police standing at the door, veterans involved. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can do to fix our school system, and I'm sure we'll end up talking about that. But have any arrests or charges been made that you know of from what stemmed over the past couple of weeks?
Actually, yes. Police have charged, get this, a 13-year-old for uttering threats, a 16-year-old in a separate case, and a 30-year-old woman from out of province in another incident. These cases are still moving through the system, and we know how slow the system moves. So this is just another rumor. People have been identified and charged, but are they in jail? Is it one of these catch and release things? You just never know.
That's right. Now these are connected to organized violence, or is it something bigger than that? Like, we're not talking about gangs here necessarily, are we?
I think at this point, police have not indicated that these are threats, are part of any, plot or gangs or any of that stuff. What we're seeing appears to be separate incidents. Some possibly hoaxes, some reckless behavior, some online threats. It's just too bad that they're reaching out to schools, a place where our kids go to learn, a place where it should be safe, and a place where we don't want incidents like this happening. You know, when you send your child to school and you drop them off in the morning, you would hope that you'd be able to pick them up and they'd be safe at the end of the day.
So at the end of the day, the impact is real, basically, because it does affect these kids. And whether it's a hoax or it's real, it's affecting them. I mean, you're scared because it's a hoax. You're thinking somebody's about to blow you up, right?
I mean, parents panic, right? Students are frightened, teachers are shaken, and that's just what happens. It's a normal part of life when you're dealing with families.
And then there's a broader impact on families too. I mean, some of these individuals have mental health problems and issues all the way along, and they're faced with trauma now, and it can become PTSD from somebody threatening you to say that the school's going to blow up, and now you're freaking out under the desk, and it takes somebody into a whole new headspace, right?
I think parents drop off their kids wondering if there'll be another alert, because there's been so many of them, 11 of them. Students lose learning time, which is just wrong. Schools shift into emergency protocols. Police units are pulled from emergency duties to come and investigate these situations. Even if there's no credible attack, it takes the police off their scene, and it's significant when it comes to public safety. That matters.
So is this a youth issue, Mike? What do you think? A social media issue? Could be even a mental health issue for that matter. I mean, kids are going through all kinds of things these days. Is it the kids making the threats on the kids, or is it like an adult doing this?
It's likely a mix. We know social media amplifies threats quickly, and lots of threats are made on social media. As a matter of fact, when we were kids, you would get bullied at school, maybe get into a fight, and then you'd go home and you wouldn't have to worry about it. And now kids go home and they're bullied at home. And trust me when I tell you this, it's a very serious incident when this happens. I can tell you that as a funeral director, I've done many suicides where I've read the suicide note and kids have been bullied at school, bullied on the internet, and finally they just give up. As a matter of fact, they're even told to take their lives. So it's a different world we live in when you have bullying that doesn't go away. Nick just now told us that he's bullied at school.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't want to see fighting, and he wants to see more love.
Were you ever bullied at school?
Yeah, of course.
So was I.
But then I bullied back.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I got bullied in school a few times, my dad said, "Okay, Mike, it's enough. You're going to go kung fu. You're going to go taekwondo. You're going to learn how to fight to protect yourself." And
now you're a black belt in all of it, eh?
So we know some individuals seek attention, obviously. We know some cases may invoke deeper issues, but there's a balance. Accountability for those making threats. And is there going to be accountability, or are they just going to let them get away from it? Prevention or intervention, so young people understand the consequences. And police should be going into schools and talking to these kids about what happens when you bully people. And I love when they let me get into a school and talk about what you do to somebody when you bully them. And we need to continue with vigilance and make sure that we're on top of this and it goes away.
What do you think the public should take away from this message you got here tonight, Mike? Because, I mean, this is a strong one.
I think police are investigating every threat seriously. Schools are acting out. They're taking caution. It's not weakness what they're doing. It's something we want our schools to do. Third, I think while none of these threats so far have been confirmed or active attacks, the pattern itself is concerning.
That's right.
And finally, we cannot normalize threats against children. This has to stop. Every hoax carries consequences. And that is a serious, every hoax carries consequences. And if your kid is sitting in school, your son, my son, little Nick, they're traumatized by that. And they don't know when, let's face it, all around the world, schools have had active shooters in them. They've had all kinds of things go sideways.
I always like to remind people to talk to their kids, Mike. I think that's one of the most important things is talking to your kids and making sure that, what they bring home at the end of the day from school is somehow, turning into a positive message rather than a negative situation, because there's a lot that goes on at school, from, like Mike said, the bullying to the situation where you've got individuals who are, outright just being cruel to each other in ways that we never thought of as kids.
Yeah.
It's exploded in terms of kids being harsh on each other. We've got multiculturalism that creates all kinds of barriers, from language problems to, just getting along, values, morals, ethics, all this stuff. It's all part of the program, and unfortunately, there can be some real trauma for some of these kids. So talk to your kids, make sure you pay a little bit of attention to them along the way, because you never know what they're going through at the end of the day. Now let's talk about the 27-year-old incident in the Unicity area. What are they talking? 27-year-old incident. What happened, Mike?
27-year-old.
A
was involved
27-year-old
in
person.
Yeah.
I
Brad,
thought it was 27-year-old old. Man, I was old. Why are we going back that far?
This happened on February 21st in the 3600 block of Portage Avenue. This is terrible. Police allege a 27-year-old man was in a parked Winnipeg transit bus when he approached the 66-year-old passenger and physically assaulted him without any prior contact. He just got on the bus and assaulted a 66-year-old man.
What's that about?
The bus driver removed the suspect from the bus, but it didn't stop there, Brad. Within minutes, the same individual entered a retail store on the same block, grabbed a baseball bat, and he struck a 10-year-old in the upper body. The child was knocked to the ground. Police say the assault continued until the father intervened and physically stopped the suspect.
Is he still alive?
The child was transported to a hospital in stable
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the dad got the bat away. I bet.
Well, but the bottom line is the dad stepped in, which any dad would do. But the bottom line is this 10-year-old child was transported to hospital in stable condition.
That's
and
sad.
That's after being hit by a bat. After that, police say the suspect went in to a nearby business and stole vehicle keys before being arrested shortly after. He's now been charged with aggravated assault and theft under $5,000, and he was detained in custody. There's a big word. He was actually detained in custody. Don't know if he's been released.
At some point he's getting released.
But
it's a catch and
we
release
talk
program.
about kids again. So think about what it takes for somebody to walk up, grab a baseball bat, and hit a 10-year-old. What's wrong with people? That's like crazy. Hitting a little kid.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to fight his dad, and I don't know what happened to the 66-year-old gentleman on the bus if he was hurt, but it's terrible, Brad. Just terrible.
That's a lot of stuff in a very short period of time.
But this is catch and release. To the judges, keep leaving these criminals out on our streets. Keep causing chaos. Keep causing destruction.
You better talk about parole, because parole's happening too for convicted felons and criminals that shouldn't be even paroled at this point. There needs to be more rehabilitation, as they say. They're sending them out early. They're giving them early leave. And then what do they get on the street? What do they get at that halfway house next to the old Cork, at the Cork and Flame there? Yeah. They get nothing. They're locked into another room that they got nothing. They're getting a little bit of a paycheck from the government, obviously, or the court system to keep them, I guess, in the place and pay the rent there. But at the same time, at the end of the day, man, there ain't much left for these guys, and they just have to. They're doing this kind of damage. They're going right back into the system again because they really understand that there's nowhere else to go. And somebody like you, who's got a plan for homelessness going forward, would be able to maybe help those individuals get back on their feet, take a right path, get a job, start moving forward, right?
And crime in Winnipeg is only getting worse. I'm telling you right now, we need to get this current mayor out of office. And I'm point blank saying this to you because this is what I believe in my heart. And even if I wasn't running for mayor, we need to get this mayor out of the office. And we need the premier to step up, talk to the provincial and federal government, and make change to the court system. This needs to stop. There's no consequences.
This is a Canada-wide court system that needs to be changed, though, in reality. It's not just Manitoba or Winnipeg specifically.
Right across.
It's right across the country. And, we've seen all these problems, not just in Winnipeg, but in Vancouver and Toronto and Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Alberta, Saskatoon, Regina, you name it. It's happening everywhere.
Public spaces. It's happening on transit, in stores, sidewalks. It all impacts
daylight, darkness outside. It's all happening, period.
I watched today. I watched the video on Facebook of a guy beating a girl in McDonald's.
Sure.
Like, I'm talking beating her. And nobody stepped in to help, but they videotaped it. And they put it on the internet. So...
Okay, I'm not supposed to say what I was going to say, so I just shut my mouth now. What does this say about public safety downtown in high traffic areas, Mike? Because obviously there's a lot of high traffic areas, and there's a lot of little places that people can hide.
I think it highlights vulnerability.
It is.
That's a big thing.
Do we light up our downtown as much as we used to?
We need to light up our downtown. Lights are proven to be.
And we're not talking about on the towers going up the side of the building. We're talking about on the street. Like,
they need to be lit up so you could, like, broad daylight.
Yeah.
And
there's no wildlife there that's getting ruined or anything. I mean,
and transit should be safe for seniors and for the young people taking it. And if you're just sitting on a bus and some guy walks up and beats you, but I have a plan.
How many times are you standing in a bus shelter at nighttime with no light on inside?
Yeah.
Every time, because they don't put lights in them.
How about retail stores now? It's unsafe to be in a retail store because you don't know who's going to come in and rob it or who's going to come in and be violent and push you to the ground and take your money or whatever. Parents should have to physically fight for someone they need to protect.
Absolutely.
So parents are literally getting into fistfights and getting charged because they're protecting their children.
Yep. This was a random one, right?
Terrible. I want to talk about a few other things. We're gonna go right down the line here because we're pushing the show really quick. But I want to talk about bike paths. I want to talk about what they're doing on bike paths. So they're taking a whole section. This is on here. So while I'm doing this, why don't you read some comments off there, Brad? And I'm going to find what I wanted to find here and talk about it. And
sure. So Jack Dobbs says, why do we let criminals out if they are likely to reoffend and get caught again 2 days later doing the same crime? Well, some of them just want to get back into the system, to be honest with you. They're in a situation where, they're kind of trapped between the system and trying to figure out where to go. They might not have family that they can rely on to help out and get them back in a place where they're on their feet. Might not have friends anymore. All kinds of situations that leave one homeless, alone, searching for help. And that it's tragic and sad. I wish that things were different that way, but the reality is that they want to go back right into the system again because it's comfortable. They get the 3 squares a day, they get clothes, they get fed, they get showers, they get camaraderie and make friends while they're in there, and they learn different things about, bad things, but they still learn. And then they come out again for some more time and they go back in. It's back and forth. It's a revolving door, and it starts a lot of time when kids get taken out of their homes from social services situations.
Terrible.
Where there's bad things happening in the home. And I think it can really, be tragic in the sense that these kids carry that with them throughout their young life and then into their, middle teens and, even 19, 20, 21, they start to do other things, and they take it to a whole new level because they feel lost, alone, and they don't have that support.
Did you know that in Winnipeg this week, police confirmed a 14-year-old boy had been charged with second-degree murder?
No, I didn't know that.
Criminal negligence causing death, connection with the death of an 18-year-old. That happened right here in Winnipeg. This case is unusual because of the age of the accused. A youth, 14 years old, terrible, and it was a violent death. And again, what do we do with somebody like that who's 14 years old causing such a tragic death? And then there was there were so many. We go on and on about the violence that's gone on in the city, but I also want to talk about a couple other things like Wellington Crescent. Did you know that
What's about Wellington?
They're going to Wellington Crescent. They want to make a permanent bike lane down Wellington Crescent right now. And what do you think of that? More bike lanes, permanent. Wellington Crescent is already a street that's, busy, lots of cars. The park's not far from there, but now they're putting bike lanes down there too. And we talked about this earlier before we got on the show, but we're scrolling by a bunch of things because there were so many things I wanted to talk about as far as crime in the city. Like, there's everything from cocaine busts to meth busts to drugs to you name it. The scale was so high, but we're
46 grams of heroin, buddy.
So we're trying to bypass all that. But
LSD in patch and liquid form. There's a lot of drugs out there on the streets. You got to talk to your kids and let them know that not the way to go. And nor do we need a safe consumption site in this city, but that's another issue for maybe a different day too.
Brad, why don't you talk about this right here? It's on my screen.
So, Mike, a
here,
federal court ruled CBC can withhold certain spending details, saying transparency could lead to political interference. What's your reaction on that political interference?
If taxpayers fund it, taxpayers deserve accountability. What you just read, just imagine what the courts actually say that CBC doesn't have to be accountable. And they don't have to tell you the truth. Independence matters, but so does transparency. And that's kind of crazy that would happen, that a judge. What's wrong with our judges?
So should publicly funded broadcasters be allowed to keep spending, details and keeping them private?
I think there has to be a balance. You protect journalism from political pressure, but you don't shield public from money or scrutiny. It's something that needs to be told.
What's the real issue here, Mike?
Trust. The real issue is trust. When public institutions limit financial transparency, people start asking hard questions. And when trust drops, division grows. And there's your big thing.
Absolutely, Mike. Wellington Crescent, the bike lanes, we've kind of covered that just now.
I think Wellington Crescent has operated with seasonal active transportation lanes for several years now.
You can't use your motorcycle all year long. Why do they think you can use your pedal bike? Like, it's crazy.
This was originally introduced during the pandemic as a way to expand outdoor space, cycling, access.
I gotta be honest. I love going down Wellington Crescent on a Sunday when the road's closed and you know that there's no traffic coming. You can take your kids, go for a ride down there, look at the big houses. I mean, none of those houses have ever been like intruded or impeded upon in terms of people lying on their lawn and going, I'm standing here for 20 minutes, right? Or leaving my bike on the lawn or any of that, or leaving garbage in the neighborhood. It's such a beautiful ride. The trees, the overhang, the canopy, all of it. Just
now
gorgeous.
The conversation, of course, has shifted towards whether portions should become permanent infrastructure.
A major commuter corridor.
And I'm not good with that.
Why would you make that street a major commuter corridor?
That means potentially, residents, roadways, long-term. It's terrible.
What are those houses worth on that block?
Well, they're worth big money. I mean, that's one of our richest areas in the
history
city.
And the history and just the architecture there is so astoundingly beautiful.
Drivers use that daily, and there's a major park just down the street on Wellington Crescent.
Yeah, there is.
Residents live along it. Cyclists value it. So the debate becomes: is it a recreational route? Is it a transportation corridor, or can it realistically be both? When change becomes permanent, traffic flow, emergency access, parking, and other snow clearing all become bigger factors. And that's a fact.
Well, buses got to travel down that route, right? So what do you think the city, I almost said it, should be doing before making it permanent? Because obviously once they make it permanent, it's tough to go back on that kind of stuff. And if they do that before you get in, for example, what happens then?
That's a good question.
Have you got that figured out? I'm just asking. Well, okay, I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I can't talk about it. I've been warned already.
So there's three things. What are the three things, Mike?
Well, clear traffic, impact data, which is really important.
Yeah.
Public consultation with residents and commuters. So are they knocking on people's doors? I know somebody who lives in that area and has a home in that area, and nobody's talked to them about it. Or it's going to happen right in front of their house. Nobody's knocked on their door and said, hey, are you okay with us putting a permanent bike path in front of your house, to the point where you can't pull out of your driveway? Because you know what happens when you get into a way of a bike lane, they fine you.
Well, there's that extra curb that they've added to the bike lanes, right? That
Yeah.
outside curb now, and that you never used to be there. It just used to be some markings on the road.
And how about
people would still drive over it, but now with that curb there, I mean, you're not going to take that path, so they really do have their own lane.
and what happens in the wintertime when these big snowplows come down and rip out these curves?
They're
like
going to
nothing.
bash them and crash them, man, like nobody's business.
And let's
They're
talk
gonna be
about
chipped away.
transparency. Transparency is another thing that the city just isn't talking about. The cost breakdown for this permitted infrastructure that they're planning on putting in there. Like, permanent decisions require permanent accountability in my eyes.
There's no need to clean the roads in winter if you've got bike lanes.
Well, you
There'll
know
be
what's happening
no
in the city,
more
right?
cars on the road.
They're cleaning bike lanes before they're cleaning, paths where people walk down and wheelchairs go down and families with young children. And, I have to say this because it's happening downtown too. But before I do that, I just want to let you know where I stand on this. I think active transportation matters. So does traffic efficiency. And when you go down that street, like you said right now, the traffic is efficient right now. It's perfect. If you want to ride your bike, you can ride your bike. If you want to walk, you could walk because you got that middle corridor where you could walk. And if you want to drive, you can drive. The goal shouldn't be cars versus bikes.
No, it shouldn't.
And this is what's happening. It seems like everything they're doing, including something else that I want to talk about right after this, it's about taking cars off the streets or, making cars less effective. So that brings me up to my next part that I want to talk about. But
Is climate change real?
do I think it's real? Are you asking me my opinion?
Yeah.
It should be a smart design that works for the whole city, not ideology. How much money are they going to spend going to some firm, asking them, well, should we put these bike lanes down?
Millions. They've already done it. Millions. Just get it done because it's part of the 2030 agenda.
That's
Look,
funny.
Mike, I'm hearing in the city now, the city of Winnipeg is now talking about lowering the speed limit across the city. That means what you normally went, with a 50-kilometer speed limit anywhere in the city, unless marked otherwise, is now going to go to what? 40? Is that true?
Get this. This is crazy. So I think,
This isn't April Fool's early, is it, Mike? Okay.
They're bringing it up to that's what I mean. We got to get rid of this city council and this mayor like ASAP because the things they're doing, this is ridiculous. Yes, the city staff have just recommended that Winnipeg consider lowering the speed limit on residential and minor collector streets from 50 to 40. So they want to make it slower on streets. This is coming out of a new report that's been presented to council.
Why would they do that, Mike? What's the story behind all this, do you think? Is it ideology again?
They say the official statement is it's safety and quality of life. And the report of a pilot project suggests lower speed limits can reduce collisions and make our streets safer for pedestrians and cyclists and families. Well, listen, I've been a funeral director for a lot of years in the city, and I can tell you that none of that is true.
No, it just sounds like a random idea, doesn't it? Something a Democrat or a liberal would make up. I know political. I know, don't get political, but you have to in this situation.
I think it's built on a multi-year pilot.
Right and wrong still matters in this world,
does.
folks.
I think it's built on a multi-level pilot where parts of neighborhoods were already reduced to 30, right,
Yeah.
for cameras, and now 40 kilometers. And now the city's collecting data from the public feedback as part of their pilot
So
program.
now that it's 40, we no longer have to go 30 in school zones. We'll just make it a flat out 40 everywhere, and that's good enough.
We talked about a lot of things. We talk about parking authority, and that's one thing I'm going to bring up again today too. But this all seems to be about fines. It seems to be about, oh, look, Randy says it, a greedy mayor. And wait till I start bringing out more and more things on how much money the city is bringing in and where's that money? Like, don't you have a right to know? Open books so you can actually see and go, okay, my money was spent here, there, and everywhere.
It's going to affect all streets, I assume.
If approved, the change would mostly apply to residential.
Unless otherwise posted.
Right. And there's the secret, unless otherwise posted. Not necessarily major arteries for now, but it would change.
Bishop Grandin's going to stay 80, so is Lage, so is a perimeter.
But what are they
going
to do then? Are they going to take our major streets and say, oh, 80 is too fast? there's too many accidents. There's too many people getting hit
Well, I
by
believe
cars on
that.
the
I think
highways.
that'll be the case at some point. But if they're trying to take the cars off the street anyway, it doesn't matter. Going 40 or going 80 isn't going to care.
Mike says
Nobody's gonna
making
care.
a 40K speed limit everywhere is just a chance for the government to collect more money and fines. Mike, you were 100% right on that. And then Mike Cherry, who's a new guy on our show, but very, very active, he talks about, if you read the report, the funny thing is Probe Research did a poll, and the report uses many instead of a percentage. They report the garbage.
Public reaction's mixed, Mike. Some people are going to support it, some people aren't. That's just kind of the way things go. But others argue that speed limits alone don't change driver behavior unless there's enforcement or physical traffic calming. So the traffic calming curbs that they put in, obviously more speed cameras. We're talking about, basically digital tracking in the future here. So they'll be able to tell how fast you're going while you're sitting in your car. And it won't be because of the speedometer on your car. It'll be because the phone in your pocket.
I guess the bottom line is council still has to decide whether to move forward. The report also recommends asking the province to amend the Highway Traffic Act. Oh, so Winnipeg can set its own default speed limits through city bylaw. And if you ask me, the city of Winnipeg bylaw officers are the biggest scam artists that exist. It's all about money. It's all about getting into your pocket. It's not about giving you warnings or telling you how to do things right. Everything is got bylaws now. If we had time, we could talk about parking authority. And parking authority is a big thing because I talked about it on what I did on my Facebook page last week. And it exploded. Did you know, and a lot of people probably don't know this, but parking authority, so if a bylaw officer comes to your house, Brad, or to my business, let's talk about the camera fines that I got. So you don't deal with the city of Winnipeg. Well, I guess you do because the city of Winnipeg operates the traffic division with these bylaw enforcement. So what happens is you have to go to their office and deal with them, and that's parking authority. So parking authority is taking care of all tickets handed out by bylaw officers. They're giving tickets by radar. They're giving tickets in school zones where, you drop off your kid and it says no dropping off your kid or no parking or no stopping. And they're sending you tickets in the mail for that. So I think one of the biggest scams that's happening in the city is parking authority. And that's something I really want to talk about because what they seem to be doing is hiding everything from, the mayor and council and city hall and throwing it into parking authority, which has so much power over what's happening in the city.
Or the city's dictating to parking authority to get out there, get this job done because we need the income, period.
How much income do they need?
Well,
people pay taxes.
where are you going to find the money, Mr.
Let me
Mayor?
tell you something. Brad. So I've been working with a CPA accountant, and we've been looking over the city of Winnipeg stuff. So I got this to tell you. When I come in and talk about finances, you won't hear me talking about finances, but you will hear a CPA accountant telling you what these statements mean. And we're going to break it down for you. We're going to let you know where your money is, where it's going, why it's going there, why it shouldn't be going there. So the question you asked me is easy. The money's already there. The money is already there. You pay these tax dollars. The problem is it's allocated to the wrong areas. And we need to change that.
You sound like somebody else down in the U.S. who's figured that out too, that the money's there. We just have to spend it wisely. And once we do, well, there's rewards for everybody in that regard. It doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or a liberal or a conservative. It just doesn't matter. Everybody wins. And that's the thing. It becomes really about, how do you win? You win because you're doing the right things. You're spending that money wisely to get people to understand that the benefits, the positive coming in the future is going to happen because you start spending the money wisely and stop giving it to other foreign countries for aid to try to help them get out of their situation. No money in the world is going to fix that. And you can throw money and money and money at it. Look, the war's not over in Ukraine and we keep sending $25 billion there.
And the city of Winnipeg's involved a lot more than you think. I'm in the funeral industry, right? Did you know that the city of Winnipeg owns 3 cemeteries? Do you know the money that they are making on their cemeteries? I could tell you that an average plot is going to cost you just under, $5,000.
The province owns the hydro. The province
There's
owns the
there's
water.
so much money people don't know about that we need to tell you about. And where is that money going? Whose pockets is that money going into? And why do we not have an open policy where you have everything in writing, where any person who pays taxes can go onto that site and see where that money has been spent?
Careful, there's good notes on there. Don't show them.
That's called accountability. And, I said this, I'm going to say it again. When my brother died, it lit a flame in my heart. And now my heart's on fire. And it's not an easy fire to put out. And I will make change in the city. If it's the last thing I'll do, I'll use every little bit of strength I have left to fight for you, the citizens of the city. And I know I can't campaign yet. And I know they probably don't want me to run for mayor. And I know they don't want a guy like me to be in that office who's going to be straightforward and honest with you and tell it to you the way it is. They don't want a mayor who's going to have an open door policy where you can come and talk to the mayor. They don't want open book policies. But that's all going to change, because what I want you to do for the first time ever is have the citizens of Winnipeg. This needs to be a movement. We need to have more people go out and vote than we've ever had before. And I keep saying this to anyone I talk to. You will see more voters at the poll this civic election than you ever have seen in the history of the city of Winnipeg, because I truly believe, Brad, people have had enough.
Well, I know people have had enough.
What we're talking about, I talk to a lot of citizens on the average day, and most people say that their water bills are $400 to $700 extra that they never ever paid before. These poor seniors that are living in our city who had a little bit of money put aside so they can have that golden retirement they talked about.
And then have an engine problem all at the same time, and your car needs to be fixed.
And you went through that this week, kind of.
I know I 100% went through that this week. We're going to have to talk about that invoice later.
And we need to allow the city police to clean up our streets. The courts, listen, I'll say this to you again, and you're going to get sick of me saying this, but a mayor just doesn't sit in a mayor's chair. A mayor is your voice. He's your face of your city. He's the person who speaks on behalf of the city and helps make change, directs the city in the direction that we want it to go into. A mayor just doesn't sit there and doesn't talk to
Tell
Rob
me,
Canute.
are you going to be the patsy, or are you going to be a leader?
Oh, man.
That's the difference.
I'm going to be a leader like you've never seen before. I'm going to be a leader that's going to leave a footprint on Winnipeg for history. And you know what? I will be talking with Rob Canute. I will be talking about the healthcare crisis that we have in the city. It makes me sick to see what's happening with the elderly in our hospitals. It's making me sick to see how many people who are dying in emergency rooms. It drives me crazy that our hospitals look like war zones when you go into an emergency department. We live in Canada. Nobody should ever die in an emergency room in Canada or be sent home after they went in for chest pains. And then they're told, oh, it's anxiety. You'll be fine. And the next day, the family is at the funeral home making funeral arrangements. Enough is enough. It's time to take Canada back. It's time to take our city back. It's time to take our province back. And I can't do it by myself, but I can do it with you, your families. When you go out and vote, you make change, and you make sure you get every one of these councillors out of that office, and you put people in there who have the same mindset, and that's a better Winnipeg for you, your families, and your children.
Okay, so like Jack Dobbs says, they want sheep, not wolves. Okay, they do, and we know that. But listen, your situation presents itself where, and everybody does this in the political world, in the sense of running for mayor, running for a provincial position, whatever. It's all part and parcel with just running for an electoral position. Mike, where do you stand on this? Because I think we're not. I haven't even asked the question yet, so don't answer.
I know what you're saying.
You do?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, go ahead then.
I'm going to say that I'm not going to be a politician, ever. This city needs to be run like a business. Efficient, accountable, and most of all, making it right for you, the people.
But politicians love to make promises. Anybody running for political office or any kind of office usually makes promises.
And I'm not going to make promises.
Well, you made a couple just a few minutes ago, and that's what I want to get back to, and that's what set me off to say, look, I think you should explain yourself, because making promises now when you're not formally running yet and you're not really
What promise did I make?
Well, I'm not going to sit here
No,
and
go
talk
ahead.
about it
No, I
again.
just want to hear about it. I don't
I'm
remember.
going to do this, and I'm going to do
But that's
that,
not a
and I'm
promise,
going to
Brad.
fix this. Well, it
That's not a
kind of
promise.
comes across that way
There's a
sometimes.
difference when you're saying what you're going to do And there's a difference when you say, I promise I'll do this for you. I'm going to do what I
but
say I'm
okay,
going to do.
But you got counselors sitting around you who are going to defy maybe what you're going to say and what you're going to want to do. So you got to get people that are going to provide that support along the way.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because when I say I'm going to promise to do something, then I'm making a promise. When I'm saying I'm going to do this,
you'll already have the money allocated. You'll already have everything
but I'm
in
going
place
to do it
before
with the
you
right
promise
counsel.
anything, right? You promise after you make the plans.
You can't
plan your work and work your plan, right?
You can't make promises until you see the books, until you see who's going to be on your team as far as counselors go.
Correct.
But I can tell you that I will be making a lot of good decisions on your behalf.
And again, those decisions will come from input from who, Mike?
It'll come from the citizens.
That's
and,
exactly the point. The citizens. You'll
that
matter. You'll matter again, folks.
Put that poster up that we have.
Okay, the good one?
That is so important, because I want you to look at this poster, and this is exactly what I mean. I hear you, and I want to hear more of you and from you, because that's how we make change. And that's why on my Facebook page, I'm starting the conversation. And the more you reply and the more conversation we have, the more change we can make in Winnipeg to make this city one of the best cities in Canada.
Absolutely, Mike. You know what? We're running out of time, buddy. Everybody's starting to say goodnight online. We've covered a lot of topics tonight. It's been a heck
Lucky
of a show.
we bypassed all the ones that we were going to talk about.
Well, there's still more, so I think you got a part 2 on this episode at some point down the road here. So save this info and we'll come back.
Please like, share, follow the show. The only way that we are going to win any election, the only way we're going to make any change is by sharing what we do. Following us, following me on Facebook, following the Mike Vogiatzakis show, and sharing it with people. Because if we don't share it, there's only a few of us that are going to know about it. You know, I have like 12,000 friends on Facebook. To win this election, I'm going to need probably over 70,000.
Yep.
70,000 just to reach a whole city. Because right now we're reaching a very small audience, but it's going to get bigger and it's going to get better. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Mike Vogiatzakis show. God bless you and your families. Take care of yourselves and each other. Brad, thank you as always.
You bet, Mike. Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
folks.
Take care, guys.